to Mic Mayhem. My name is Joey, and today's story is all about reading and books. So let's dive in with our first Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to stop pretending that he likes reading? I, 20F, love to read. I usually have a couple of books going on at once, and the people in my local library know me by name. I also love talking about books with other people. I get a lot of good recommendations that way, and it's also a way to bond over shared interests. My boyfriend, 28 male, never reads. He does spend a lot of time reading the news, but never books. However, whenever he is a part of one of the conversations, or if anyone asks, he always says that he likes to read. It's also listed as an interest on his resume. I think he may be embarrassed or self-conscious about the fact that he doesn't, as we're pretty nerdy and hang out with other nerdy people, and people sometimes associate reading with being more intelligent. This seems like it shouldn't matter, but we've been dating for 5 years, and it's just one of those things that grates on me. Last weekend it happened again, and when I got home, I calmly/politely asked him to stop saying that he likes to read. He got very defensive and said that he does like to read. He reads all the time. Growing up, books are really important to him, but he is too busy to read now. I said that we've been dating for over 5 years, and the entire time he hasn't read a single book, and that if you are too busy to read on one book in 5 years, then you don't actually like to read. I also pointed out that when he talks about how he loves hiking/camping, I don't pretend to like that, even though some people might look down on that. He said that I was being childish, and that it would be one thing if he went around bringing a topic of reading all the time, but he only talks about it when people ask. Am I the asshole for bringing up for something relatively unimportant that I can tell he's self-conscious about? It's hard for me to say. I mean, you're pretty much an asshole for bringing it up. You told us earlier he reads all day every day because he reads the news, you just told us he reads, and if he doesn't read a book in 5 years, then why should he dislike that? It's your opinion that he doesn't like it because you read a lot, and you think that if you only read one book or not even a book in 5 years, that it's not likable. I mean, you probably like to go for expensive dinners, but you don't get an expensive dinner every day. Is that also saying you dislike it? Well, let's see what the comments has to say. You're the asshole. This is gatekeeping. Just because someone doesn't do something every day doesn't mean they are lying about it. Another one says, you're the asshole. You can enjoy something even if you don't find the time to do it. You can like to go on holiday without going every year. You can like pizza even though you didn't have one in a month. People gatekeeping hobbies are the worst. Just let him enjoy his things his way. Not everyone likes something to the same extent and is exactly the same way. Now, this post has 2 updates, so we'll read about that. Edit 1. People are saying, reading the news is reading. True, I should have clarified that this is specific to talking about reading books. Okay, he's more specific next time. Edit 2. I really appreciate all of the comments. I see now that I have some reflecting to do, and I appreciate the constructive points. I apologize for my post. I've never posted on here before, but I ask for feedback, and I appreciate people taking the time to give me some input. Well, that's one thing you don't see often, a Redditor changing their mind. Speaking of changing mind, don't forget to like and subscribe if you change your mind of liking this video. On to our next story. This one is called, Am I the asshole for putting my foot down and asking my wife to read in chunks? My wife is a very avid reader. She tends to pick up these thick-ass books like Crime and Punishment and Les Miserables and kind of fixated on them to the point where she only takes breaks to eat or use the restroom. Normally, this isn't a problem because I'll just watch TV with our kids, and she really only does it on weekends, where there isn't really much to do. In fact, she's considerate enough to meal prep and clean the house before she gets ready to read. The issue is that social events inevitably go by the wayside. I am in a job that requires a lot of networking and depends on my image and the image of my family, so I'm constantly struggling with this habit. She ends up coming but then downloading the book on her phone like a 13-year-old. Everyone looked at her so weird. When we went to the gala a few days ago, she wouldn't socialize and make conversation, and this was a black tie event, mind you. I'm pretty sure my co-workers were laughing at me because all the other wives were socializing and she was just sitting in a corner. When we got home, I told her that her habit of putting aside everything to fixate on his hobby was not sustainable. I explained that as my wife, she was responsible beyond simply finishing her chores ahead of time, and that I can't keep going to social events either alone or with a disengaged wife. I even paid for a babysitter, so I told her she needed to grow up and read like a normal person and do it in a block of time. But she got really offended and said I don't have a right to tell her what to do with her weekend, which I think is ridiculous because I am her husband. I shouldn't have to beg for some kind of attention from my own wife. Whoa! Okay, this one took me for a ride. I am mad for the wife. Let me phrase it this way. I mean, you are the ass. Don't let me change your mind because he is the ass. But he could approach his wife so differently. It's like explain it to her. It's like, hey, I'm kind of worried because, you know what my job is. And maybe we should socialize a bit more because of the image I need to have and represent. I represent the brand and the company. Very important to me that, we work on this together. And when we go to events like this, we communicate and we socialize. But the way this guy writes is, oh man, he sounds like he wants to be the boss or controlling over his wife, and he's just like he said, she is only allowed to read after she has done like meal prep and cleaned the house and everything, and you're just sitting on your lazy ass watching TV. I bet you she does everything in that house. If needed, she will change your clothes because you sound like a big baby. Let's see what the comments has to say. Top comment says she meals preps, makes sure her family is taken care of, and then get lost in a book on the weekend. And you somehow think that you have a power to put your foot down and tell her that she can only read when you decide that it's okay. Bro, fuck all the way off. And while you're doing it, know that you are in fact a huge gaping prolapsed asshole. Also, you being worried that all your work friends were laughing at you and looking at a weird is childish as fuck. Grow up. You're the asshole. Not once do you show any concern for her feelings. You're only interested in the way she can serve you. No wonder she's always reading. Right? This insufferable audacity of this guy is what the last comment says that I'll read onto our third story. This one is Am I overreacting? It's called Am I Overreacting? I, 20 male, left my ex, 19 female, because romance books ruined our relationship. So, I was in a relationship for almost 7 months with her. She was really great, cute, nice, and smart, but she lacked self-esteem and had been pretty insecure all her life. And I was her very first boyfriend. My girlfriend had a hard time with boys all her life. No boy ever showed interest, which means that her only vision of boys, her only knowledge of boys, came from those romance books she used to read a lot, and from Korean dramas, and that ruined our relationship. One day, I went to pick up my girlfriend from work. She works in a clothing store. In the car, she started telling me about the day, like usual. Then out of the nowhere, she tells me, oh, by the way, I saw the most handsome man of my life at work today. I raised my eyebrows to show surprise, but she did not notice and continued. Yeah, he came and he asked for my manager, but he was so handsome and tall that I couldn't even talk to answer. So my coworker took care of him, and then I stayed in the corner of the shop looking at him because I felt interested in him. And guess what? My manager came over for a few minutes later and told me, hey, the man who just came through is from our company. He will be your mentor for a few days to teach you a job a little bit more. At this point, I was just silently driving. I didn't know what to say. And seeing that I wasn't giving any reaction, my girlfriend insisted, did you hear? The handsome man will be my mentor. I answered, well, I hope he teaches you well. He will. And maybe he will also teach me how to love. I really thought he was handsome. Okay, time out on this story. It's like, what is going on? Does she know she's in like a relationship? But maybe it's a false narrator. We'll see. I didn't reply. We then arrived at her place and she got out of the car. But I didn't. Seeing me stay, she asked what was wrong. Then I told her word for word. Listen, have fun at work with your handsome mentor. But you and I are done. Forget me. Bye. And I immediately left without letting her respond. I know it's immature, cowardly, and stupid to leave someone like that, but still, I really felt it was a huge lack of respect. It's been 2 days since, and she's been sending me voice messages while crying, and it's in these messages that I learned the truth. A man did come to work to ask for the manager, but he wasn't their mentor, just a customer. But since my girlfriend is used to the romance books, she imagined this entire situation. According to her, she told me this story to make me jealous because in these books, this kind of situation often happens and make the boyfriend jealous, which supposedly shows he cares about the girl with a healthy possessiveness. She even dared to tell me she never thought I would like her story about her mentor was real, let alone take it badly. She was bold enough to tell me a book lover or writer would have understood that my story was just a story, not real life. Seriously, who would have understood it? I swear, I wrote our conversation the exact way it happened. Who in the world would have gotten it was just a story? A fake story at that. And even if it is, she still had those words about the man to me. And even if in reality he was just a random customer, it is a tremendous lack of respect in my opinion. She begged me hundreds of times to forgive me and come back, saying this whole story was just silly mistake because of her love of books and drama. I won't get back with this girl, that's out of the question, but I would like to know your opinion on this. Whether this happened to anyone before, and do you think I overreacted? Reading this story gives me a reasonable doubt with this spaced out and everything, the way it's written feels very AI generated, so I'm not pretty sure, but let's take it at face value that it's true. I would say, even though it's not an Am I the Asshole post, I would say everyone sucks here, because on the other hand, I understand you want some more attention, but there are better ways to get attention instead of making up a story. And this guy, as he told himself, he really responded immature. He could have asked further instead of just giving her the silent treatment and giving the impression he doesn't care. Even though he writes he cares, he doesn't show it. So even though we're 20 and 19, we should still have a conversation about this like two grown adults. But still, I think you are a bit overreacting. People tell her that they are not overreacting, that she's immature and she's not capable, but still, I think everyone's. And now for a wholesome last story, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because onto our last story, and it's called Am I Overreacting? My foster child stole my book. Am I overreacting? My foster child stealing my book. I've been raising this little guy as my son for almost 3 months now, and we both really love books. I personally love reading them. He prefers to lay down on them. To each their own. Tonight, I just came across a plot twist and put the book down for not even 30 seconds to put my phone on a charge, and I turned around and I find him asleep on my book. I went, "Hey, what the heck?" And he just had the audacity to start gently purring. Am I supposed to accept that he doesn't respect the fact that I need to know what happens next while he sleeps? Am I overreacting? And of course, we see a beautiful picture of a cat sleeping on a book. So tell me, was this person overreact? Or let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Before we go, don't forget to like and subscribe.